Alright guys, so today on the bench we've got the Darwin FPV Darwin129. So this is one that many of you were asking me to review, so I went ahead and requested to have one of these sent to me. Essentially, if you know what this looks like in terms of the pictures and the product specs, it's almost an exact clone of the Tyro 129 from Eachine. The major differences are this is already completely built from the factory, even comes with a PID tune. Comes with these extra 3D printed parts like the camera mount here for the Hero 6 cage here, the GPS and antenna mount here in the back. That 3D printed part as well is included. I believe those in terms of extra parts, but in terms of the arms, the frame, the motors are very, very similar. They kind of look the same, but the bearings on these are better. They're actually smooth. They're not rough like on the Tyro 129. And they're the same size, 2507 1800 kV. So it's in kind of that weird between 4S and 6S. That I think 5S is what I think a lot of people flew this 1800 kV motor on with the 7-inch Gemfan prop. I think this is the 7040 prop from Gemfan. The ESC is just a BLHES ESC 30 by 30 stack. It's I think it's a 40 amp or 50 amp ESC. And then you have an F4 flight controller with an F4 chip on there. I think there's 6 UARTs. And it has built-in Bluetooth. So this particular flight controller has Bluetooth, which the Tyro 129 does not have. The video transmitter, obviously analog, is 800 milliwatts maximum power. And then the camera is a Caddx Turbo Micro F1. I'm not sure if that's the same camera. I think it's a different camera from the Tyro 129. So again, this right now is on AliExpress for $129, which is what the Tyro 129 came out at originally. But now it's like, I just checked it today and it was like around $180 for some reason. A lot of the prices on Banggood are really expensive now for some reason. So this is coming in at $129, no receiver. This long antenna is included. This 120, I think 150 millimeter, yeah, circular polarized antenna is included. But it comes completely assembled, so it's all built. You do have to add a receiver, which I added an XM Plus receiver here in the back, and uses their standard 3-pin plug right here. And I already had another Darwin quad that I pulled that receiver from and just basically unplugged it from the other one and plugged it into this one, and then used the included antenna tubes that plugs into the 3D printer part. And it was already set up for S-Bus, so I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do any soldering. So yeah, it was pretty nice. I just basically put the props on, bound up the receiver. I did have to change the modes for my switches on my transmitter. They're different than what comes on there, but that's pretty standard stuff. Not a big deal there, because whatever they programmed in here on their transmitter is probably not going to match your transmitter. So that's, par for the course. Really not a big deal there, but it is analog only. I do like the fact that it comes with the 3D printer parts. Now, this is also, if you're wondering, or if you don't want to order from China and like, AliExpress is from China, and you don't want to wait, because who knows how long it's going to take, I believe this is going to be showing up on Pyrojone very soon. If it's not already linked in the description, check down in the description. It may already be there, or it'll be there very soon. I'm told that they sent this to me at the same time they sent it to Pyrojone, so they ought to be putting it up on their website pretty soon. So it ought to come out there around the same time. And again, it's $129 on AliExpress as of today, but prices are changing like crazy these days. I don't know what's up with all the stores. Prices go up and down like crazy, and generally they're going up right now. And obviously it has a lot to do with the supply chain problems, the chip shortages, etc. It's just sort of reverberating across the whole supply chain. So this here at $129, if you can get it, already pre-built, it's pretty much exactly like the Tyro 129. It flies pretty much exactly the same. I flew it on this 4S 1500 or 1550 all-line battery. I don't have any 5S batteries, and 1800 kV is a little bit too much for 6S. You could run this on 6S with a motor output limit, reducing it maybe, by like say 80%. That could probably work too, but again, that's probably for more extensive testing later. If you're interested in that, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, I'm probably I never tested 6S on the original Tyro129, which I still have actually. I just haven't flown it in a while. And I did compare them side by side. These frames look almost identical. So this is like a complete clone of the Tyro126, except it's already completely built and it has these extra 3D printed parts. So yeah, for 129, pretty decent. The pin tune on there is very basic, just like the basic pin tune on the Tyro129. You're gonna want to probably do some tweaking on it because it's got the same sort of mid-throttle oscillations. Now, I did run the HD footage through Real Steady Go, and all the little bobbles and stuff are gone. If you just fly it out of the box, and if you're doing, Real Steady Go or any kind of stabilization on your HD footage, you'll be fine. But you can still see it in the analog footage. But in terms of flying around, it seems like it flies totally fine. Obviously, I didn't go long range with the XM Plus. You can do crossfire on this. You just don't use the plug. You have to use the solder pads that are I think they're on the underside of the board, so you'll have to take it apart to add crossfire. I didn't take this apart to do that. But yeah, if you guys are wondering what the range is going to depend on the receiver you're using. And in the case, you'll see in the analog footage for mine, I think there's something wrong with my XM Plus receiver, because I remember I pulled it from something and then I added to like one of the Darwin quads, and I didn't really look at the RSSI on that one. I think I didn't even add it to the OSD, but on this one it seems like it's all messed up. So I think I got to reflash the firmware on that XM Plus receiver. So you see me flying around here. I'm not really going that far. I just more or less wanted to see how it responded in terms of like just flying around, kind of cruising, and seeing how that felt. In terms of flight time, if you just do a Forest 1500, you're probably going to get like 7 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that. I forget what I got in this one, but yeah, just kind of cruise around. You're going to get a long flight time because it's on 4S and 1800 kV. It's not drawing a lot of amps, so you're going to be able to fly for a while. But if you go to like lithium ion pack, for example, 3000 milliamp hour 4S, yeah, you're going to probably be able to get way more flight time, maybe more than 10 minutes. So flight time is going to totally depend on the battery you're using. And of course, it's going to change the weight. So let me just show you what this weighs. If you want to see what the Tyro129 weighed and everything, I'll link the Tyro129 video down in the video description. So what are we coming at in here? 426.5 grams. So I did add the GoPro cage to that, so keep that in mind. And then whatever battery you're going to be using, add that. That's all going to depend on what battery you're using. The screw that you're seeing here for the cage does not come with the mount, so you can use either this kind of screw here I think this is from like one of the Diatone models, or you can just use like one of those thumb screws that come with the cage here with the little nut that comes with the thumb screw. That's what this is designed for. That's the same size. So I think that'll be a little bit heavier, but I just had this lying around, so I just used that. Other than that, everything else is what came out of the box. Yeah, it's analog 7-inch. If you want to get into that, it's not going to be for racing. It's not going to be for freestyle. It's going to be for cruising around, getting some HD footage, and longer flight times. And if you want something that is pretty inexpensive, 129 is not a bad deal for this. It comes already built. That's the one disadvantage of the Tyro129, is if you don't know how to build or solder, then yeah, you're not going to get that. But this one's already totally built. I didn't do any soldering on this one except for the receiver. So depending upon what receiver you're using, if it's going to work with that plug or not, you may have to solder 3 wires for that. So for an XM Plus, it'll be 3 wires. For Crossfire, it'll be 4 wires. And you'll have to get to the underside of the flight controller. But all in all, not super difficult. But again, this is sort of like a bare bones kind of a kit, and you get what you pay for. So if you're looking for something a little bit more refined in terms of a better pid tune, just better flight characteristics all around, I highly recommend the Camera 7 from iFlight. I still have the DJI version of that one. I actually flew that on my recent road trip. One of my favorite 7-inch quads. It comes with a really good pid tune out of the box, and iFlight, they do a good job with their pid tune. So if you're willing to spend a lot more money. I think that one's going to be twice the cost of this, maybe even more for analog. And of course, the digital I think is close to $500 if I'm not mistaken with the air unit. The prices are just going up like crazy right now. So yeah, you know, for 7-inch, if you're an analog, $129, you know, it's not a bad deal. Again, I don't know what's going to come in at PyroDrone. It might be a little bit more at PyroDrone, but on AliExpress right now it's $129. All right, links down in the description if you want to check it out. If you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you guys later.